So for those of you who didn't know, I started out on a CBR 300RR, and now I'm on a FZ07. So quite a big difference in terms of the power, my acceleration. All of those things are obviously a big step up onto this bike. Now, when I was going to buy the 300, and even after I had it, the biggest thing everyone was telling me was how, oh my god, you're gonna get so bored of it so fast, you're gonna want to upgrade in like a day. As soon as you get used to the power, you're gonna wish you bought a bigger bike. And I just really didn't find that to be the case. I think part of it is that riding on a motorcycle will always be riding on a motorcycle. If I had the choice to either never ride a motorcycle again or only be able to ride a Honda Grom, I would choose the Honda Grom. There's something freeing, there's something that's just you can't get out of a car that you get when you ride a motorcycle. And so in that sense, you never get bored of that feeling. You never get tired of being free. You never get bored of having the awesome feeling of being on a motorcycle. Now, I will say that I did experience some lack of power issues, but the only time it really ever happened that made me genuinely want a bigger bike was when I was actually riding with other motorcyclists. Even though it's only a 300, the bike's small enough, it's light enough that your acceleration still isn't bad, at least compared to just a typical car. You can still gun it off the line fairly well, especially if it's your first time riding a motorcycle, or if you don't have like a really nice sports car, or not like a really nice one, but you don't have a sporty car. It will feel like you're pretty fast. The issue comes when you go on group rides with your friends or whatever. Your friends are on some R6s, and you guys hit a red light, everything's good, the light turns green, and they leave you in the dust. And it's not because they're trying to leave you behind, but everyone's supposed to ride their own ride, and they're riding to have enjoyment, and their enjoyment is going to come from accelerating to 60 miles an hour instantly, and you're going to sit there catching up. This was especially noticeable, really bad, when it came to freeway riding. Group rides that went onto the freeway, man, that was a pain, because I got my bike to 100 once, and that was pushing it full speed for quite a steady amount of time before I hit 100. And I tried a few times to hit 100 before I actually did. I got to 99 a few times, and I actually thought with my weight I just wouldn't be able to hit 100. I thought 99 was completely topping off the bike, but I finally hit 100. Regardless, going onto the freeway, where some of these bikes that can go a lot faster can hit those speeds in a more safe environment, that's when you really feel it. That's when you really notice how underpowered your bike is. So I think that's something you should consider. If you don't feel safe getting on a bigger bike when you're starting out, and by bigger I don't mean crazy big, I just mean even like a 600. If you don't feel safe getting on that, then don't get one. You should be riding for you, not for other people. If you don't feel comfortable on that bike, then you're not going to enjoy your time riding. Yeah, you might get comfortable again, but some people just really have this fear of it, and it might ruin riding for you. You might actually get out of riding because of it, when you never gave yourself the right tools to truly enjoy it. So if that's the case, definitely get the smaller bike, for sure. If you don't ride with anyone else, if you don't have any other motorcycle friends, consider the fact that you will probably make some. I've met so many awesome people through riding and through talking to people who had bikes that I didn't know before. There's also people who ride who you don't know they ride until you get a bike and you guys start talking, and all of a sudden it turns out, hey, we both ride motorcycles, that's cool. So if you're someone who enjoys going on group rides and stuff, I would take that into consideration though, or you enjoy the idea of going on group rides, because being on an underpowered bike in that setting where you're with other bikes at 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, that's something that's definitely going to become noticeable. And the more often you ride with really fast bikes, the more you're gonna beat yourself up over buying a smaller one. So I think there's a few things to take into consideration. You know, how fast you actually want to go, how much you want to be riding with other people. So consider what you plan on doing with your bike, what kind of rider you think you'll be. You might be wrong, you might misjudge how you might think you're going to be a really safe, slow driver, and then after you get on a bike and get used to it, you might find that you're actually a maniac. But, you know, consider how you think you might drive. Consider if you plan on ever riding with other people, especially frequently. You know, consider your comfort, how comfortable you feel like doing it. You can always get a bigger bike later. I had my 300 for about half a year before I upgraded to this bike. And I could have had it a lot longer. I still loved getting on it every night and riding it around. That joy never diminished. So there's some, I don't know. I don't agree with the fact that some people, I think for some people they really will get bored because they're just too much of an adrenaline junkie. They're too much of maybe a speed demon or something. They might actually get bored where the amazing feeling of riding just isn't enough for them. But for the average person who's riding, you won't get sick of riding no matter what you're on. You know, it's an addiction. Once you experience riding and what it's like, I feel like you're pretty much set. You're pretty much set on it until something terrible happens to you or someone you love, and that's usually one of the only things that really kills people's mood. But just think about what you're planning on doing, and know that if whatever variables take into consideration, if they lead you to get a smaller bike, woo! If they lead you to get a smaller bike, then do it. Don't be ashamed. You'll probably get shit on by some people, but you know those people are assholes anyway. So what does it matter? You know, do what you think's right. You'll probably be right. And I just dabbed on some little kids. We got that going for us.